Hey everyone. So this is gonna be unscripted just fully because I'm working on a few other high effort videos and I know that I'm not gonna be able to get out an actual script this week. So hope that's cool. Stay tuned though, it's gonna be cool. Yeah. So I came on here because I've been getting back into SCPs heavily recently. I'm always into them, but I take breaks from deep diving in there because I have to do stuff, or I'll get interested in other things. But recently, I've just been diving into SCPs, reading a bunch, watching YouTube videos where they explain like the persons of interest, like Are We Cool Yet? And the Church of the Broken God, and it's just I love SCPs. I think it's interesting, and I love the creativity that's on display. Like how a lot of SCPs are like, this person has superpowers, or this person stores a bunch of diseases within their body. But some of them are like, there's a worm came out of the sun, and we don't know why, and we don't know where it is now, and we don't know what it was doing in the sun, and there's nothing we can do about it. Or like stuff like, here's a beach that a cult used to build mechs. Like, that's cool. And then there are like this kind of silly ones that are presented really interestingly. Like that one where it's a classic detective novel protagonist who everyone thinks she's their aunt. Or like related to them. And she keeps ending up in situations with 8 people where one of them gets murdered and she has to figure out what it is. I think that's really cool. And yeah, what are other examples? Let me think. I really like SCPs where it's what's the word I'm looking for? Memory altering SCPs I think are really cool. Like the one where it started off with just planting a specific memory, and then they steadily realize that, this SCP is controlled by people that can just change whatever memory they want in you. I thought that's cool. That was a cool saga to read. But what I'm here to discuss is, I'm just here to pop on and remind people, SCP doesn't have a canon. Like, there's no one through line for what happens in SCP. If you tried, there would be so much conflicting information because it's written, there's no story Bible. It's not a one story. It's a bunch of stories. Thousands of stories. And that's what's so cool about it. It's thousands of different stories that have vaguely the same, that have kind of the same setting and have like the same baseline premise. And then they were just like, go wild. So some of them are about specific SCPs, some of them are about organizations, and even if you look at SCPs that are like with the same organizations, you'll probably find some kind of overlap because there's just too many independent people working on it that aren't communicating to keep it consistent. And I think if they did try to keep it consistent, something would definitely be lost there. Like, as it is now, SCP is fully up to your interpretation. Like, everything is, but, like, it's intentionally fully up to your interpretation. Like, that one SCP where it's the little girl who can basically alter reality. I have, like, a headcanon, which is basically, like, a fan fiction in my head, just, where one of the doctor that was like, who told her about Santa Claus or something, one day he finds her missing, and they don't know where he is, and it turns out another doctor that started to grow close to her and didn't want them to put her on, because they put her on, like, knocked her out all the time because they didn't want to have to deal with a child who can do literally anything. But he ran away with her. One of the people broke her out and ran away with her. And I have a baseline of this entire story where they're running across the country trying to escape. And eventually they get recaptured, and the scientist who stole her dies, gets killed, gets murdered. And yeah, that's just a fully valid interpretation of that story. Intentionally so. And I love it. And I feel like I've seen some people try to be like, what's the canon of this? Like, what's the storyline? All these things are conflicting and like complaining about it, when that's the point. And, you know, I just want to talk about it. Because, I don't know, all my other video ideas take effort, and I'm working on them. So hopefully they'll be out soon. I just want to, as long as I have time to keep uploading weekly, I want to. But I'm gonna do every 2 weeks minimum. I'm gonna shoot. That's my goal. Like, if I can do weekly, I'll do it. If I can't, I'm not upset. If I like skip like a month, then it's a problem. So yeah. If you don't read SCPs and you like supernatural, weird, and sometimes absolutely horrifying things, you should give it a try. But, you know, that's all. I hope you guys have a good day. I'll talk to you later. Peace.